are live. What is going on, everybody? We are here for Boxing Fanatico Live, episode 31, because we grinding. We made it to episode 31, but today we gotta touch on something that I wanted to touch on before, but we didn't touch on it because, you know, it is what it is. We had to talk about the beef that was going on with Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, but today we're talking heavy about how important July is to boxing. This July 2023. And let's go ahead and switch over real quick. What is going on, everybody? We got to start it off, of course, with Hashim47. Let's go, champ. Indeed.
Let's get ready to
Woo! Let's get ready to rumble. That's right. Thank you very much, Michael Buffer, for starting us off as always. Now, let's talk about July. Now, I do have kind of like some stuff ready as well in terms of the Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney beef because it spilled over onto Twitter, which makes Twitter so unique. You could literally see people have private conversations in the public. Like it's the craziest oxymoron ever. They're having private conversations that should be private, but in public, in full view, as we can see them go back and forth in real time. That's Twitter for you. Hashim47, thank you so much for starting us off. Let's go, champ. That's right. Huge month for boxing. Looking forward to all the fights. Now, I got all the fights on the list. I'm about to pop that list up real quick so y'all see how real July is. I don't know if you guys know how real July is. Like, July is real. And we about to see it. We about to see how real it is. This is the greatest year in boxing I have seen, period. Wow, that's a big statement. Been a fan since the late 80s, and I cannot remember a year like this in boxing. 100%. The year is phenomenal. The year is phenomenal. But of that phenomenal year, I would argue that July is the best of all of the months that we've had so far, or the ones that will come in the future. Although, if they do that super, whoa, hold up. This just in. We got a $10 super chat by Jay Shep. What's going on, brother? What's up? Hold on. Let me answer this question real quick, or let me finish this statement real quick. When it comes to if they do that December extravaganza in Dubai or Saudi Arabia, where they have the heavyweights fight each other, that might be a contender. But even that crazy extreme fight where it'll have Usyk versus Tyson Fury as the main event, with the co-main being Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, even that might not be strong enough to dethrone the power of July. Now, let me go ahead and bring this up real quick. And of course, when we do this, we also have to show the love over here, because when you get a $10 super chat, you get Tyson Fury doing an uppercut knockout. $10 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Let's put that back. Let's run that back. Yo, the ref is like, yo, chill. Don't do it again. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Now, yes, sir. You already know, brother. Neil Fan 4, hey, Fanatico. Can't ask me about Undisputed, guys. I'm their content manager. I can't talk about it on my platform, on my individual Boxing Fanatical platform. We talk about it on the socials, right? The socials that we post, their YouTubes, their Twitters, their Discords. That's where we communicate with you guys regarding the game. Can't communicate here. So please, guys, don't ask. This is about in real life boxing. All right, let's move on. Lemuel Hernandez. I hope that one day we could get some. Oh my gosh! Once again, we can't talk about it. So we're gonna move on. All right. So let's put Jay Shep here with the yes sir. So let's talk about July, because July is such a banger. I don't know if you guys. I feel like people think it's great because of Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, which of course is the anchor of that whole month. But you don't know how amazing it actually is. Let's pull it up so you guys can see this beauty of a month. Let's go ahead and pull it up. Let's do picture in picture real quick. See what we got here. There we go. There we go. Look at this. First of all, we'll start the July is going to start off with Diego Pacheco. Not crazy, not a big, super splashy whatever fight, but it is a fight, right? It's going to be it's in Mexico, Mexican fight. Diego Pacheco up and coming. He's going to see if he could do his thing, right? But that's not the biggest deal. But then the next day on July 8th, we had Virgil Ortiz versus Stanionis. Virgil Ortiz will be fighting Stanionis this Saturday. So we have this Saturday a Virgil Ortiz fight. So just keep that in mind. He's one of them top tier welterweights. He's just below, these guys. They're looking to have him fight Jerome Boots Ennis. That's a fight that they wanna make, right? So he's really good. This is a really tough fight for him. This is not like a let him get a win or whatever, and it's just easy. This is gonna be a real tough challenge for Virgil Ortiz. So July 8th, we got Virgil Ortiz fighting, but we also have Jerome Boots Ennis fighting. So the person that they're looking to put him up against, he's also fighting, but he's on Showtime. So we got Virgil Ortiz on the zone. We got Jerome Boots Ennis on Saturday on Showtime. Now, I'm predicting for Virgil Ortiz to win his fight and Jerome Boots Ennis to win his fight. And hopefully, if they do that, then they could go ahead and fight each other. But we got both Virgil Ortiz and Jerome Boots Ennis all in one night, guys. All in one night. You're going to have to be flipping. You're going to have to be going from Showtime to DAZN to DAZN to Showtime if you want to watch both. Or if you have a preference who you care about more, you can go ahead and watch it. I like both of these guys. I kind of like Jerome Boots Ennis more than Virgil Ortiz, but I like that they're on a collision course and they're fighting on the same exact day. That's just beautiful. Josh Kelly, which is an up-and-coming middleweight fighter, junior middleweight fighter from the UK. He gets a lot of knockouts. He does his thing. That will be on DAZN, so you could go ahead and check that out. That'll be the following week. But we also have the women's division is coming in strong too. It's not just the men's division. It's also the women's division because July 15 is the return of Alicia Baumgartner fighting against Christina Linardoutau. I always have problems saying that name. Alicia Baumgartner's return on DAZN. Can she continue to rise up in the ranks and continue to defeat after her amazing performance against the former champion? I forget the name of the female that she fought, where it was an upset. Alicia Baumgartner actually upset her opponent. If you guys can remember, just let me know down in the comment section below or in the chat. But yes, Alicia Baumgartner's return on July 15th. But that's not all, because July 15th also has Frank Martin's return. That's right. Frank Martin is also fighting July 15th. So on July 15th, you could, again, just like July 8th, you can flip between DAZN and Showtime. So you can see either Alicia Baumgartner fighting or you can see Frank Martin fighting. And now Frank Martin is important as well because he's kind of right below all of the big heavy hitters at 135, right? He's right there. They're trying to put him up against those heavy hitters at 135, the Devin Haney's, the Shakur Stevensons. There's talk that people want to have him versus Shakur Stevenson. Now, I don't see how easy that is to make considering that he fights with the PBC. He's normally on Showtime and Shakur is on Top Rank. And I don't know if that fight makes enough money to make someone like Bob Arum and Al Heyman come together to make the fight. But who knows, right? Who knows? We also have a super bantamweight fight. Not crazy, not big, not a big deal. It's another kind of like coming out of Mexico. Nobody of note just yet. So we'll go ahead and skip that one, July 15th. I would definitely recommend watching these two instead. Then we got July 22nd, George Kambosos Jr. returns to fight Maxie Hughes. Now, I predict that George Kambosos should beat Maxie Hughes, considering that he's a much better fighter. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just one of those things where you just never know. But I do see George Kambosos winning that fight. But we'll see. But then, and you guys got to pay attention to this one. A few days later, on a Tuesday, and if you're in Eastern Standard Time, at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have, if not one of the top 3 biggest fights in boxing, with Stephen Fulton versus Inoue. July 25th, Stephen Fulton will face Inoue at 8 o'clock in the morning on ESPN+. So this is a tough one to catch, right? Because he's fighting in Japan. So it's going to be 8 o'clock in the morning to us here on the Eastern Standard Time. It is like nighttime for Japan. So we're gonna have to wake up early for this one, right? Set your alarm clocks for this one, but it's gonna be an important fight because it's Stephen Fulton versus Inoue. Do we not understand how crazy that is? This is the fight that we've been asking for, that we've been clamoring for, and Inoue and Fulton blessed us with this fight. There was no mud being thrown from one end to the other, trash talk or anything. Inoue got undisputed, moved up, and the fight was made. It was that simple. Both of these guys are beasts. I have Inoue winning this fight, but this is going to be an amazing fight to see. I cannot wait. I am chomping at the bits to watch this fight. So we haven't even gotten to the creme de la creme. But before we even get there, we're talking Virgil Ortiz fighting with Stanionis. Jerome Bruce Ennis is fighting. Alicia Baumgartner is fighting. Frank Martin is fighting. George Kambosos Jr. is fighting. Stephen Fulton and Inoue are fighting. And then, like I said, the women are still coming strong. Sinisa Estrada will be fighting on Friday on ESPN, July 28th. And then, of course, the UK, Liam Davis is also fighting on July 29th, but unfortunately, he is also fighting on the day that Errol Spence Jr. fights Terrence Crawford. So we cap off the amazing month, the most powerful month of the year, in my opinion, with the fight that everyone in boxing at the top have been waiting for. And that is, without a shadow of a doubt, it isn't Canelo versus Benavidez. It's Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford. We've been waiting for this fight for years. This is the modern day Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather within the boxing community in terms of the top 2 guys that we want to see fighting. This is the modern day Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather that finally got made, and it will happen July 29th. Guys, this month is untouchable. This year is untouchable. But of this year, I think this is the strongest month that we have, bar none. Because this is just too many good fights. And the beautiful thing about it is most of these do not require pay-per-view. The only one that requires pay-per-view is Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford. None of these other ones. I mean, if you don't have a DAZN, you have to have a DAZN subscription, so that's one thing. You have to have a Showtime subscription. That's another thing, because Showtime is a subscription that you kind of have to have. And you also have to have ESPN Plus. But if you already have those things, then you can go ahead and enjoy these fights. And if you don't, you better still pay for this pay-per-view, because this is the pay-per-view. We have to pay for this pay-per-view, guys. Please, if you can do it, if you can part with your, because this lets us vote for good fights, good pay-per-view fights, right? If we buy this fight and we get this across that 1 million pay-per-view buy barrier, I guarantee you they're going to be making Benavidez Canelo like this. The moment this happens, Benavidez Canelo's going to they're going to announce it even before Benavidez, even before Canelo fights Jamal Charlo, they're going to announce it. So come on, let's vote with our wallets and let's go ahead and buy Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford. Plus, you get a better viewing experience anyways. It's just much more comfortable when you purchase these things. All right, so that is July, and that is why my argument is that July is possibly the best month in modern boxing history. But I want to know what you guys think. Am I wrong, or am I right, or am I crazy? Which one is it? Am I right or am I crazy? Let's go ahead and switch over. Let's see what you guys got to say. I got to pull it up right now. Let's see here. All right, we got Anthony Murchison in here. What's going on, brother? Ball Out Mixtape. That's a W, yes. That's a big W. Fernay Zacharias. Is it just me or Frank Martin styles remind you of Bud a little? The offense, footwork, stance. He is swift. He's dope. Yeah, he does. He does. To a certain degree, he reminds me. He has this slick style. I think he a little bit more slick than Crawford. I think Crawford really gets rough and tough and dirty in there sometimes. And I think that Frank Martin tends to be a little bit more consistent with being slick throughout. But yes, he does remind me to a certain degree of Terrence Crawford. He does. This month going to be fire. Absolutely. This month is going to be the best month, period. I'm trying to find somebody to tell me I'm wrong, because I want to see what month they got that they're going to say, hey, look, that's the month that's better than this month that we're in. And we're in the month. We're sitting inside of this like gold mine of a boxing month, just waiting for these fights to happen. Every weekend we're gonna have a fight. Every weekend there's gonna be something, and then we're gonna get a Tuesday fight, leading in to the Saturday fight with Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. You couldn't have written this month any better, and the Tuesday fight is literally like the third or fourth best fight that could be made in boxing right now. So within the less than a week between each other, we're literally gonna get like two of the top three fights that we want, with the July 29th fight being the number one fight that we want in the boxing community. You couldn't have written this better. Wake up early for sure on Tuesday, 100%, man. You got to set your alarm clock for this one. You got to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday just to watch Stephen Fulton and New Way. It's crazy. It's crazy. The best fights happen in July around my birthday every time. Oh, okay. Although Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao did happen in May, which was 2 months removed, but it's okay. July does be having crazy fights, so I'll give it to you. I got Inoue via stoppage. That's a possibility, especially how he be just hunting the body, hunting for that liver. He be looking for that liver every time he fighting. July is a great month for boxing fans. Yeah. Mind blown. Exactly. My point exactly. Bud gonna end the month with a spectacular KO. Let's see. I do have Bud Crawford winning by knockout. Probably in the later round, somewhere around anywhere from 8th to 10th round. But we'll see, man, because this is a 50-50 fight, man. This ain't easy. This ain't an easy pick 'em. But I'm going to have to go with my prediction being Terrence Crawford for this fight. Why is everyone saying unanimous decision? Boots has one decision win in 7 years against a track star. Unanimous decision. Why is everyone saying unanimous decision in terms of Boots Ennis getting a UD on his opponent? Is that what you're referring to, Prince? Villa was getting tagged by Ellis, but Ellis didn't have the power to compete. Boots never had a problem with this style before. Villa is a walking target with bad defense. Okay, so it looks like you're referring to that fight. Yeah, I see him knocking him out. Yeah, I definitely see him knocking him out. But we'll see what happens when the fight actually takes place. But it's almost here, so we're gonna get to see it. And I love it. How do I order this fight? Showtime pay-per-view. Just have to, if you have go to your cable provider. You could call them, but that's like old school. You could just pull it up on the TV guide on your cable box, and then just go to pay-per-view and hit buy pay-per-view, and it'll say the price, and then that price will be added to your bill when you're billed from your cable provider. That's all you got to do. Or if you have the Showtime Anytime app, you could buy the pay-per-view there. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure you could buy it on the Showtime Anytime app as well. And I think also, I think they're connected with Paramount Plus as well. So you may be able to order it there as well, but I'm not 100% sure. But just check. But the easiest way, way that I know guarantee you can get it, is on Showtime pay-per-view via your cable provider. Ellis has good power. Villa Chin must be insane. Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see when the fight goes down on Saturday. For real, July has fights for women's boxing fans, casuals, because they got the whole, Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, and hardcore fans all in 1 month. Of course, because we got the Frank Martins of the worlds. We got the Jerron Boots Ennis, the Virgil Ortiz. So they got everything for everybody. This is why I say, because this month is one of the best months, period, because it's so diverse in terms of what they offer. Then they also offer two of the top 3 best fights that can be made in boxing, period. So it's just too good. It's just too good to be toppled by any other month. Like I said, even if they do that heavyweight craziness in December, that still wouldn't topple this month unless that entire month gets chock full of like crazy fights, like if they do like a Benavidez Canelo during that month, and they do others, there got to be other fights too, right? So I don't see any other month competing with July. I think July basically locked in being the best month in a long time. I'm talking about years. I'm talking about decades. Like multiple decades. Like this is a crazy month that we have not seen. And if you become a boxing fan, if you're new to boxing and new to being a fan of the sport, you wouldn't really understand how much this means to us, because like boxing is gaining popularity now, which is what allows a month like July to even exist. But back then, man, it would take us forever to get anything even close, even like a 1% of the month that we have right now. So we are through the moon right now, or over the moon. I'm sorry, through the roof and over the moon. YouTube boxing. Unfortunately, I did miss the first big fight of this month. Anderson. Oh yeah, and Anderson already fought. Yeah, Anderson have a good performance against Martin. He did not necessarily have a good performance. He did well. He won the fight, but he wasn't looking like vintage Anderson, where he's doing whatever he wants. He had a lot of problems with Martin, but at the end of the day, he got his hand raised and he won the fight. So it's a learning experience. He's still young. He's very, very young. I think he's 23 years old. He's very young, still learning. So we'll see what he does next. Hopefully this helps him become a better fighter moving forward. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. Best boxing month in decades. Bro, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. It's easy to see. You can't beat July, no matter how hard you try. And that rhymes. Remember, when it rhymes, it's true. When it rhymes, it's true. Here we go. The Tuesday fight is equivalent to pre-gaming right before entering concert. It just pumps you up even more. It's a pre-game, but it's way more than a pre. In terms of like, I get what you're saying, but we're spoiled. The fact that fight is a pre-game, right? We're so spoiled because that's literally it's Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr., Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez, and then Inoue versus Stephen Fulton. That's the list. That's the 3 best fights that could be made in boxing, period. After that, we got Tank versus Shakur, or Tank versus Devin Haney, or Shakur versus... But those are the 3 big ones that can be made. Those are the 3 big ones. And 2 of the 3 are within less than a week from each other. It is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And I'm hyped 21 Days of Madness. Yes, man. Yes. Fanatico, they've been the Victorious Road campaign, but man, I can't talk about the game. Again, don't ask me about Undisputed. Can't talk about it here on Boxing Fanatical Live. Go to our socials for all of the information regarding Undisputed. Here, we can only talk about in real life boxing and any other boxing game. So if Fight Night Champions 2 comes out, we could definitely talk about it here on this channel. And we could talk about Bloody Knuckles, Street Boxing, and all of those other boxing games. Can't talk about Undisputed here. So please go to Undisputed YouTube channel, Undisputed socials, Twitter, Discord, and get the information there. And that way, that's the platform where we could communicate. July is the perfect month. I'm glad I was born in this month. Hey, listen, come on, man. Hey, I wasn't born in July. What happens with me? I can't be happy too, because you was born in July. Nah, I'm just kidding. The angry casual fan. My grandma said Crawford getting stretched in 10 rounds. Oh, wait, hold up. Is your grandma a avid boxing fan? Has she been watching boxing for a long time? Or does she just like Errol Spence Jr.? Like, what is it? Which one is it? Does she like boxing? Does she watch boxing? Does she watch other fighters? Or does she just like Errol Spence Jr.? Flossie Sports TV. I'm betting Spence by unanimous decision. This is the best year of boxing in a long time. 100% agree. I would even go as far as to say that this is the best year that we've seen in modern boxing history. Like the best. The entire year, the entire 2000s, this is the best year. And probably you could even put the 90s in here. This is the best year. This is the best year because to have this many fights that are like popping off, like, is just insane. And if Canelo would have fought Benavidez, like, it wouldn't even have been a question. It's not even a question now, but it definitely, you couldn't even debate it if he would have fought Benavidez. But unfortunately, he did not. However, he is fighting Jermell Charlo, and that's still a pretty big deal. I don't know if he comes out unscathed from that fight, guys. I don't know if he actually beats Jermell Charlo. I'm going to have to look into that. Size doesn't always matter. Canelo was always beating the bigger guys. Size doesn't always matter. So we're going to have to really look at that fight and see what happens. Because Jermell, when he's focused and when he's dedicated and when he's hungry, man, that dude comes out like a lion. He comes out like a lion. I generally believe this is probably the most stacked month ever. I cannot think of any other month that was this stacked with super fights and prospects / contender fights setting up their divisions. Yeah, I mean, we got things like Virgil Ortiz and Jerome Bruce Ennis, who are like on a collision course fighting on the same exact day on two different channels. So basically, like, the story is telling itself. The story is basically telling itself. Jerome Bruce Ennis and Virgil Ortiz are fighting on the same day. We got to be flipping channels just to see both of them fight. It's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers. Guys, if you haven't hit the like, we got a bunch of you guys in here, but we only got 10 likes. Please hit the like real quick. That helps the channel out tremendously. And it's a quick thing. It doesn't cost you anything. You hit that like button and you'll be all set. Let me give you guys that Michael Buffer for the like. Let me give you guys that Michael Buffer for the like.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get ready to rumble. Let me give it one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hit the like, guys. Hit the like. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what you guys are saying. Prince, only downside is we're not getting Hitchens versus Montana love. Hey, man, that happens in boxing, man. Sometimes, you know, there's fights that are going to get made and they're going to get set up and then things happen that derail them. Whatever, injuries, contract stuff, like people pull out of fights. Things always happen. It's unfortunate, but that still, in my opinion, doesn't take away from how amazing this fight, this month is when it comes to just the boxing cards that we're getting. It's just mind blowing to me. It's just mind blowing. The most stacked month in the most stacked year. Yup, there you go. That's the words that I was looking for. The most stacked month in the most stacked year, bar none. That's what we're getting. That's what we're getting, guys. I can't wait. I'm too hyped. And in just a few days, we're going to already start it off. We kind of already did start it off with Anderson, but it's going to continue. Like, this is crazy. We started right at the tippity top of July with an Anderson fight, and it just keeps going and ends poetically with an Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford fight. And then we got Alicia Baumgartner, Sanisa Estrada, Frank Martin, Jerron Bruce Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, like George Kambosos Jr. Like, the list goes on and on. This month is never ending. Stephen Fulton, Inoue, all in one month. I said all those names, guys, and they're all fighting this month. They're all fighting this month. Unbelievable. All right, let's see. Have you touched Bloody Knuckles yourself yet? And do you remember those rumors or news about Dev starting development of a new Fight Night game after a release of UFC 5? Yeah, I posted about that email that leaked. But they said that they were in a very early stages, which means when somebody says we're in very early stages of making a boxing game, like, or whatever, like making any game, they could literally scrap it if they look at the numbers and they say, nah, we don't want to do this. They could scrap it. So there's nothing concrete, nor if they finally start working on it, are we expecting this game to come out anytime soon, unfortunately, because they haven't been working on it. So it's going to take a few more years, right when, first of all, UFC 5 haven't even dropped yet. That has to drop. And then after that drops, then they might work on it or start work on it. And then once they do that, then it's going to take forever. And then they also just lost Brian Hayes, who was the guy who was always spearheading that movement to do a boxing, another fight night. He was working with the UFC team. So Brian Hayes was there. I believe he was their creative director or their communications manager. I'm not exactly sure. But he was the guy that was always pushing for a boxing video game. And unfortunately, he's gone. So that's a big hit. He's one of those guys that was pushing for a fight night. He was leading that team. So I don't know if now with him out of there, there's probably even less pressure for them to make a fight night, in my opinion. It's probably less pressure now that he's gone. Like, they might not be people, pounding on that drum to make a fight night. And I remember he posted before, not too long ago, that he's constantly always pounding on that drum to make a fight night, but they had to work within whatever, corporate limitations to make fight night or to make the UFC games. But UFC 5 hasn't even come out, man, so we don't even know. And of course, I played Bloody Knuckles. I have videos up playing Bloody Knuckles. I think I got like 3 videos up. One talking about it. In terms of me playing it, I got 3 videos, but I got a bunch of videos talking about it because he's done devlogs as well. Love C Shorty has a bunch of devlogs out there. It's beautiful. The game is beautiful. I love it. Can't wait till he drops the next demo. Can't wait till he drops a full game. And let's hope that AJ versus Wilder and Fury versus Usyk happens at the end of the year. Man, if that happens, that will cap off the year. That would cap off the year beautifully. Beautifully. Jermell versus Canelo is a great fight. We never knew about it. I like it. Yeah. It's one of those things like you didn't know you wanted this fight, or you didn't know you wanted this fight, but we giving it to you. And then you realize, oh, wait. This is a good fight. This is a real good fight. I've seen people on Twitter complain about this fight. And it, to me, it's just like, bro, it doesn't even matter what. Like, it don't matter who you. People are always gonna complain, bro. They're always gonna complain because he was supposed to fight Jamal. Like, the fact that he's not fighting Jamal, but he's actually fighting Jermell is such an upgrade. It blows my mind. It's undisputed versus undisputed. First time ever in the 4-belt era that we're getting 2 undisputed fighters fighting each other. First time ever. This is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So I don't understand. I don't get it. People don't like the fight. Some people don't like the fight. Or not that they don't like the fight, but they're calling Canelo a weight bully or whatever. Like, did y'all call Canelo a weight bully when Mayweather had to fight like a 165 pound Canelo that came into the ring at 165 while Floyd Mayweather lost weight? Floyd Mayweather came into the ring at like 149 pounds. Did y'all think that was Oscar De La Hoya weight bullying Mayweather, who came up to 154? He had to jump 2 weight classes as well, and he beat up Oscar De La Hoya. When you're great, you're great. Skills is more important than weight, guys. Skill is way more important than weight. Canelo has gone up and beaten all these big dudes because he's skillful. Right? So skills is more important than weight. So I don't understand the problem with this fight. I'm actually super excited for this fight. The bait and switch was perfect. It would have been horrible if he was saying that he was going to fight Jamel and I was hyped for a Jamel fight and then all of a sudden he fights Jamal. Even though Jamal is just one division over. And by the way, they're twins, guys. They're twins. So they have the same bone structure, the same body structure, right? They both can make these weights the same way. The only reason that they make different weights is because they don't want to fight in the same division, because they don't want to fight each other and they want to be able to dominate each division, right? Although Jamel is a little bit more aspirational than Jamal, they don't want to fight each other. They're like the Klitschko's. They don't want to fight each other. Would love to see what a new Fight Night game would look like in this era, considering Fight Night Champion still looks beautiful. The Fight Night games were actually like, I remember vividly that if you wanted to show off your Xbox 360 and say, look, this is the next generation in comparison to like the Xbox, you popped in only one game to prove that. Fight Night Round 3. Yo, you think that this I paid too much for the Xbox 360 that has everything look the same? Let's put on Fight Night Round 3. The new one. The upgraded Fight Night Round 3. Let's pop in Fight Night Round 3. There was no better graphics than the Fight Night series when Fight Night would come out. Fight Night always held the best graphics title, in my opinion, whenever they came out. And they were used to show off consoles and their strength. So I'm sure, they're going to do something cool with it. But one thing, too, is that we can kind of look at a peek under the hood to see what it would look like, because we kind of have UFC. And I don't know, man. When I think about it, the UFC games don't look all that crazy. They still kind of have like a cartoonish look to it. I don't know. I don't know if they're able to get into that super hyper realism where we are now in the world, where it comes to like hyper realistic video games where they're looking like crisp, clean. I don't know if they could step into that realm like that, but who knows, man? We never know. Anything could happen. I always thought Ennis would put the beast on Ortiz. He's too much of a complete fighter, and it's too dedicated. It's possible, but we have to see. We'll have to see. That's one of the fights that need to be made so that we can actually like see for ourselves, right? And the cool thing is that they're both fighting at the same time. My man said didn't realize Ennis versus Ortiz was happening. Wow. No. They're not. They're not fighting each other. They're just fighting on the same night. Ortiz is fighting Stanionis on DAZN, and Jerome Boost Ennis is fighting on Showtime. They're just fighting literally at the same exact time. So you'll have to be flipping between channels to see that fight. But yeah, they're not fighting each other, but poetically, they're fighting the same day. Right, and they're like on a collision course, so that's cool. It continues the story of them fighting. Spence doesn't have his wisdom teeth anymore, so it's a good chance he might get knocked out dealing with Crawford. What? Are we really gonna use the wisdom tooth or his wisdom teeth as an excuse? Bro, I got my wisdom teeth removed. Like, it's painful for a day or two. At max. After that, you're good. So he'll be all right. He'll be all right. Trust me. That's not going to be. If he loses, if he gets knocked out, it's not going to be because his wisdom tooth got removed. All right. It's not going to be because his wisdom teeth got removed. I promise you. It's going to be because of the way the fight played out. It got nothing to do with that. Agreed. I think Boost KOs Ortiz, but I got Stanionis over Ortiz too. I'm telling you, man, that Stanionis fight, it ain't easy. That's actually a competitive fight for Virgil Ortiz. That's going to be a competitive fight. We're going to have to see what he does, but that's going to be a competitive fight for him, for sure. Fanatico, on an unrelated note, have you checked out new Mortal Kombat gameplay trailer? Looks fire. I've seen it. It looks good. I don't know if I want to move on from because I haven't played Street Fighter since Street Fighter 2, right? And I've been playing some Street Fighter, so I'm enjoying Street Fighter, right? I'm enjoying leveling up my skill in Street Fighter little by little. And I like how Street Fighter feels and looks with the way the combinations happen. So I don't know if I'm going to move on from Street Fighter to Mortal Kombat when it drops. I don't know if I'm going to do that, because it's not like I'm buying all these different games to play them on here, right? Because I don't really play those kind of games on my channel anyways, right? So to me, it's just getting the games that I want to play. And right now, for some reason, I have this Street Fighter itch, and I'm feeling good about how I'm leveling up. I'm Platinum 2-star, guys. I've made it a Platinum 2 stars on Street Fighter. If you know, you know. Going from not playing fighting games at all to Platinum 2-star. That's a big deal, man. I came from all the way down from silver. Did my placement test or whatever. I got from silver, went all the way to Platinum 2-star. So I don't know, man. I'm doing my thing. This month starts good and ends amazing. Yo, perfect. It starts good but ends amazingly, bro. That last week, that final week, oh my goodness, man. Crazy. Might need your help buying this fight. I'm trying to be able to watch it on my PS5. I have the Showtime app on my game. Through the app, I'm sure you'll be able to do it through the app. Just go check on the app, see, look around, probably write Crawford versus Spence in the search bar, and they're probably gonna pop up the fight, and then you could probably buy it from that point right there, from that area. You could pre-order it. Sometimes you could pre-order these things. So just take a look. I'm sure if it's Showtime Anytime, I think it's called Showtime Anytime, you should be able to buy it from there. Prior to this month, what would you say the best month of the year so far for boxing? I'd say April, maybe. Yeah, I'll say April. I'll agree, because that's the month where we got Tank versus Ryan, right? Right? That's the month, or was it May? Hold up. It could have been May. No, I think it was May that we got Tank versus Ryan. Well, the month that we got Tank versus Ryan, that I think that was the best month, because that month, just by themselves, they single-handedly, that was April. Okay, so all right, cool. April is the best month so far after this one, because this one, it just takes that one and just it blows it out of the water. It's not even close. Let's see. April is always good. Yeah, it's been a solid month. The best couple years for boxing. Yeah, 100%. This year is a big fight. This year, the big fight in April was Alves Garcia Tank. Yep, and last year's was Spence Ugas. Yeah, best couple. Yeah, should do more Street Fighter 6. Should do more. I don't know if I should do more Street Fighter 6, because I didn't get really much traction on it, right? So I'm not going to, I play Street Fighter not because I want to make content on it. I play it because I am enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it, and considering that I haven't played it in such a long time. So I don't know. I'm just going to play it on my own and whatever. Like if there's if I see something happening where people care a little bit, maybe I'll do something. But for the most part, I'll keep this channel more strictly boxing content, right? Even boxing video game content. By the way, guys, boxing video game content hasn't gone away. It's not the number one premier thing on this channel, but when something important happens, we're going to talk about it. It's actually more comfortable for me to talk about in real life boxing, because that's more consistent, constant, right? But if they out of nowhere say Fight Night Champions 2 coming out, right? Or Fight Night Round 5 coming out, we could start talking about it right here. So, it's not the number one primary thing, but it is definitely still something that I'm always on the lookout for. So remember, guys, even Bloody Knuckle Street Boxing, we're going to play that here. We're going to talk about that here. We're going to go online with the game, play it here. Like, we're going to go hard with Bloody Knuckle Street Boxing. I know you can't talk about, oh my God, man. So don't ask if you know I can't talk about it. WBO trying to strip Jermell, stopping the possibility of Jermell being undisputed in 2 weight classes at the same time. I hope they don't do that because, undisputed should trump mandatory, which means if you could fight for an undisputed title, that should, see, this becomes tricky though, because undisputed, a fight for see, this is the thing, when you become undisputed, you kind of unlock an ability to kind of be free reign, right? Because you're undisputed, and they allow for that to trump having to do a mandatory fight. But in a real bizarre way, he's not fighting for his undisputed belts, leaving his undisputed belts still uncontested, or not, no one contesting his undisputed belts when he goes up to fight Canelo Alvarez. It's almost like nothing has happened with his undisputed belts. So it makes it a little weird, because normally undisputed trumps mandatory, but he's not fighting for his undisputed belts. So that then makes it like his undisputed belts are still not being defended. So that is going to be tricky. That one's going to be real tricky, actually. That one's going to be real tricky. But I hope they don't do that, man. Come on now. Don't do that to the man. He's about to fight, even though he's not going to fight in his weight class. Don't strip him. Don't do that. Jermell probably walks around Canelo's weight anyways. Canelo just barely cuts weight nowadays. That's why he's at 168. Yeah, he's not cutting. Canelo's not cutting weight. He's just showing up. he used to cut weight. Now he just shows up. He don't cut weight. So Jermell is probably, when you fight at a weight division, you're normally 9 times out of 10, you're not really that weight at all. You're not even close. But you just fight there because it gives you a athletic advantage, right? And it levels the playing field because everyone else is doing that. So he's not going to move up and be so like, oh my God, I'm a fish out of water. Like, I don't know what it is to be this weight. People are making it out to be like that. That's one of the things I hate, is the whole fear mongering about weight. Like, when people miss weight, is it unprofessional? Even if people miss weight, is that an unprofessional thing to do? Absolutely. But when you tell me that this guy came in at 154.2 pounds, so he lost the weight, he lost the belt on the scales, and then you're gonna make an argument, oh, he's a weight bully, you see what he's doing, he came in to weight, my man's, that's 0.2 pounds. That's nothing. That is nothing, but people like latch on to that. Oh, he missed weight. That means they make this thing so big, but weight is not that big. Weight divisions matter, yes, because that's how you compartmentalize everything and kind of separate different fighters. If not, people just be fighting everyone. And of course, a bantamweight versus a heavyweight, that is dramatic. So that's too much, yes, right? So it helps little guys have like a success. But guys, when it be like 2 little pounds or whatever, y'all go crazy. And when somebody moves up 2 divisions, y'all go crazy. Terrence Crawford wasn't knocking everybody out at 140, but when he went up to 147, he knocking everybody out. He feel more comfortable at 147. Just because you go up don't mean that you're going to automatically be suffering because you went up. That's not what's happening, guys. That's not what's happening. I'm glad after the day it was announced, everyone started realizing weight is not an issue in the Charlo versus Canelo matchup. And I don't understand those who said they'd rather see Jamal fight. Yeah, I don't get it. Whoever said that is crazy. They're just saying that because Jamal was at 160, he was closer. But like, give me a break, bro. Jamal doesn't have the resume that his brother has. He hasn't been as active as his brother. Right, they're both technically haven't been that active, but Jermell it's only been like a year. Jamal has been like 2 years, so it's a completely different story. Plus, he don't have the accolades that his brother. His brother's undisputed. He's like one of only 6 or 7 people in the history of the 4-belt era to be undisputed. I've always been confused on how Jamal is a bit taller than his literal genetic twin. He's not taller. They're literally the same size. Did Jamel eat less spinach? They're the same size. They're the same size. He's not taller. Street Fighter over Mortal Kombat. I agree. My man said, Prince said, nah, Mortal Kombat better. Nah, I don't think so. I think Street Fighter better. Virgil versus Stanionis prediction. I had Virgil Ortiz winning that fight, but I could easily see Stanionis winning. But I'm predicting for Virgil Ortiz to win. But once again, I could easily see Stanionis winning that fight. Low tier guys saying Street Fighter 6 is even scrubbier than Street Fighter 5. Yeah, but that's low tier guys. And Shakur versus Yoshi. Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah, in April. Yeah. I mean, it was I prefer Shakur versus when he went against the Cuban fighter, the one that won the gold medal in the same Olympics that he won the silver. I forget his name, but yeah, I like that one too because that was a little poetic for him because he was supposed to win gold. I saw that fight and he really won that fight, but they didn't give him the nod, and then this dude won the gold in his division. So for him to come and just outclass this dude just proves how good Shakur is in the pros. He's so much better than what he was in the amateurs. I was born in April. Hey, congratulations, bro. Water gave us life. Congratulations. Off topic. But something inside me is really hoping Ben turns out innocent in the sense that use the drug was unintentional. He was my favorite before he popped. Yeah, man. And he was he was knocking people out and all that, man. It was beautiful. So yeah, let's just see what happens. I swear I've seen certain photos where Jamal edged him. But maybe it was just shoes or a camera. It's probably like the shoes they're wearing or something like that. The Cuban fighter you're thinking of is Robsay Ramirez. Yeah, that guy. He's been calling Shakur out, but he's still a featherweight. Yeah, the thing is, they're actually they were close at one point in weight, and Robsay said he didn't want any part of Shakur Stevenson. Shakur actually wanted the fight, but he moved too far away from Robsay Ramirez. And Robsay Ramirez has a loss already, so his transition into the pros hasn't been as smooth as Shakur Stevenson. But I think if they were to fight, Shakur would wash him, especially with 12 available rounds, right? It's not just 3 rounds and it's not just like point system. It's more than that. It's going to be tough. But speaking of that, though, let's look at something real interesting because they've been going back and forth on Twitter. Man. Like, I don't know what is going on. Somebody tell me what's happening because they are live talking back and forth. So I think it started around here. He said rounds in the bank. How many you put in today, champ? He put in 25 rounds of sparring. Shakur Stevenson. And then Shakur Stevenson said 25% is less than I made in my last 3 fights. Y'all people crazy, LOL. So Devin Haney wants him to make less than when he fought Yoshi. Less than when he fought, was it? Oh, man. I forget the Brazilian fighter's name, but it's the Brazilian fighter that gave this dude trouble. That gave I don't even remember the fight that Oscar Valdez. Yeah, he gave Oscar Valdez trouble, which that I respected Shakur for fighting both of those guys. He fought Oscar Valdez and he fought the dude that gave Oscar Valdez problems. So that was actually pretty cool that Shakur did that. But yeah, 25% is less than he made in his last 3 fights. That's crazy. I'm telling you guys, in boxing, you could duck in so many different ways, man. It don't have to be by saying you don't want to fight. You could send a contract that's absolutely ludicrous where you know they're going to say no and then just be like, look, he said no. Therefore, he's ducking me. But really, it's a political duck, right? It's a political duck. That's definitely a possibility. Devin Haney said Bob Arum is the one that relayed the message. So he's basically saying, hey, look, Bob Arum's the one that told you this. I'm not the one that like, it's not like that means Bob Arum thinks that you should get 25%. I don't know if that's what that means because Devin Haney is not with Top Rank anymore. So Bob Aaron's just negotiating with them. So when they sent him the 25%, he by logic, he has to provide that to Shakur so Shakur could say yes or no, and then they go from there. But Shakur was like, heck no, I'm not taking no 25%. And they put sign the contract. So Devin Haney's saying sign the contract. Fight me for 25%. And people are talking about how Devin Haney took less than 25%. No, guys, no, he did not take less. It is public information. He took 30% to fight Kambosos. 30%, not 25%. And when he took that 30%, he stated the 30% was to price himself out so that I would say no, but I'm still going to fight him. But clearly they're doing this as a tactic for me not to want to fight him. Yeah, yes. Did he power through and just decided to bet on himself and he went and took the fight anyways? He did. But it was still not 25%. It was 30%. And 25% is actually one of the lowest I've ever seen, period. Like, you don't even give people that are not even popular, like not even popular fighters, you don't even give them 25%. Like when you're fighting a tune-up, they don't even get 25%. Like, I don't know if people understand how low 25% is. It's an almost disrespectful number, right? So hopefully they come to a different agreement. I don't know because it's in the public, right? Look at this. It's going crazy. Look, they're still going. Devin the Duck Haney don't want no wreck. I'm trying to go back and forth on this app, though, about your business. So Shakur saying he don't want to keep talking about it. He's saying that Devin Haney don't want to fight him. This is crazy. Shut up. That's cap. Never happened. And then this guy said, wasn't soft when his pops was financing that amateur career people keep talking about. So this guy's I guess he's insinuating that Devin Haney's father was financing Shakur Stevens' career. I don't know how that happened. Boxing full of soft dudes who hide behind the business of boxing. Well, let's see what happens. And then he retweeted this, saying radical fans who attacked Crawford in the past wanting to fight Spence are the same people attacking Shakur Stevenson for wanting to fight Devin Haney. Is their method of protecting the boxer they're attracted to. The new ducking is offering 25%. I'm telling you, man, things like that is weird, man. This is weird. Finding someone who did 150K on pay-per-view ain't a payday, bro. Haney ain't Canelo. All right, man. So they've been going back and forth basically on here. They've been going back and forth, but what do you guys think about? Gentlemen, I keep forgetting again. I still got to hit him with the horns, though. Let me know what you guys think about the fact that they've been going back and forth regarding the whole situation with the 25%. It doesn't look like Haney is budging from that 25%. He's just like signed a contract. So I don't know, man. It just feels wrong to me. But like 25%, guys, is like Floyd Mayweather. When Floyd Mayweather was fighting Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar De La Hoya made it horrible for Floyd. He made it a nightmare. And then he said, and I'm going to punish you even more. Yes, the ring got to be this size. Your glove size got to be this size. But guess what? You're only getting 30%. 30% was the low number where you like try to make sure the person says they don't want to do it so that you can say they ducked. Devin Haney went lower than that. He went lower than that. 25% is an incredibly disrespectful number. Very disrespectful. Even for a tune-up fight, that's disrespectful. They're both listed at 6 inches, but I agree. I feel like I've seen pics and he's a little taller. I think it's just an illusion because he's 160 and he's 154. So it's like an optical illusion. But they're twins, bro. They're literally twins. So they're the same. What are you talking about? I would like to hear you and Showbiz have a debate on this. I'm seeing two sides of the spectrum. You're saying 25% is low. Business saying Shakur should dare to be great so you can call the shots. But here's the thing. I actually, I'm split. I'm split down the middle. I'm not, if you watch my video from my live from Monday, a part of me saying that Shakur is ducking because this is an opportunity. And another part of me is saying that 25% is just so low. So it's not that I'm hard line in one direction over the other. I'm acknowledging that 25% is an incredibly like devious move, right? But on the other end, on the other side, it's like, hey, he could still become undisputed, and he like then from there he can move forward and make money or whatever. But it's just a tough thing. It's just a tough thing. It's a tough thing to point. I wouldn't debate with Showbiz because Showbiz if he has a hardline stance in saying that Shakur should take it, that's his stance on that. But I 50% agree. I 50% agree because to me, I come from it from different perspectives. It's like if you look at boxing, especially the contractual part of it, we know very little, right? We know very little about what goes on behind the scenes. One thing we do know, like the little things that creep up, is numbers like what's the purse split. We do know that. Those things come out. Those things are almost always consistent in terms of that information coming to us. No one has been given 25%. No one has been offered 25%. Everyone, when they're getting disrespected, they're offered 30%. Devin Haney was offered 30% to fight Kambosos so that Devin Haney could say no, and he still said yes. 25% just seems so low. But like I said, I'm split. I'm split in between. I want him to fight him. As a fan, I just want Shakur to fight Devin Haney and become undisputed. So in that sense, it feels like he's ducking him. But overall, is Devin Haney really making him that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just to me, it's just a weird thing. It's a thing where I'm kind of mentally split on it. Fanatico, we can talk about the terrible metaverse boxing match. Can we talk about Roy Jones versus Bobby? Yo, that was crazy. That was crazy. So they actually fought each other, right? That's what happened. They actually fought, but then they took the image of them fighting and projected it somewhere else, like a hologram. Am I getting this correct? The thing is, I'm confused on it. I just don't know how it came about. Were they doing VR and then somehow, because if they were doing VR and then somehow their movements were being replicated, then that's impressive. Then that's impressive. But if they were just fighting each other and then they were recording it and then they like put it through a filter to make it look like it was like a PlayStation 2 game and then they put it into a different place so that we could see it in VR, then it's bad. Then it's bad. But if it's the former if it's the former, that they actually were just in VR, they weren't really fighting each other, but it looked like that, then that's amazing. No, yo, listen, as bad as that looked, if that was actually a VR fight and they weren't really fighting each other, we capping if we saying that didn't look impressive. We capping if we're saying that didn't look impressive. Now, if all they did was fight each other, but then we just saw a different version of them fighting each other in terms of them making it PlayStation 2 graphics, then that's just that. Then that it makes no sense. I'd rather just see them actually fight each other. Just let me see them actually fight each other. And you can't even use the excuse of, oh, but it's so that people could do VR. We've been done that. There's VR stuff where you can sit down and look around and watch an NBA basketball game courtside. Like, we've been done that with real life stuff. So if you were going to do that and make us like in the crowd or whatever, just give us the real life stuff with a 360 camera where we could look around, and it just like, that's all you needed to do. That's all you needed to do. Don't do no, they fighting over here, but we're not going to show you them actually fighting. We're just going to render their actual fight and put it on PlayStation 2 graphics. No, I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to that. But if it was actually them not fighting, then that was impressive. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. We're like 6 minutes past. We've 6 minutes past 8 o'clock. As always, guys, hit the like on your way out, guys. Please, it'll definitely help a lot if you guys do that. It'll help the channel a lot. It'll help these lives a lot. But we go live Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern time, all the way up to 8 p.m. Eastern time. Had a blast today talking about the July. I had to make one live just focus on the beauty of this month. I just had to do it. I know it's not the sexiest thing in the world to talk about in terms of like, ooh, let's talk about, the beef over here, the beef over there. But sometimes you got to just sit back and just be like, let's appreciate this month. Let's give this positive energy to boxing, which tends to be incredibly toxic, and talk about how beautiful this July month is with all the fights that are lined up for us to watch. And even the fights that passed, like the Gerard Anderson fight that was actually pretty competitive. So we're getting, even when the fight was made and the fight happened, we're getting like a good competition between those two guys. So it's beautiful. And we already know that Spence versus Terrence Crawford is a 50-50. So we're getting competitive fights all around. All right, guys, until the next one, thank you so much. We'll see you on Friday. Peace out, guys.